Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay get off to winning ways in the G1 Climax. Jack Morris has been announced for Pro Wrestling Noah's N1 victory. WXW Germany's Unified World Champion Tristan Archer has been announced for TNT Extreme. Flawless victory. Allie Catch, Blake Christian and Cole Radrick have all been announced for GCW Liverpool. Robbie X versus Ace Austin is set for 1PW's new Twist of Fate. And Nick Aldis has been announced as a guest for Wrestlefest in Cardiff, Wales on the 3rd of September. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is TNT, the Great British Wrestling podcast for Great British Wrestling, as featured on bodyslam.net, as well as the Jonas Podcasting Network. We hope you are well. I am the Great British Otaku, Mr. Andrew Moore, and E2 Most. Up there is Big Daddy Dan, Mr. Daniel Allen. How are we doing? Are you hot enough?
I am not complaining. I think this is beautiful weather and I am in my happy place. I've just had a very cold beer. I've got my fan on. Life is good.
I agree. I love this. I don't know what other people are complaining about here in the UK. I'm sorry. Just get over it. I was blessed by the sun gods though. When I was born, literally Apollo, Ra, Freya, they all gave me powers, but the winter gods hate me.
Well, I'm ginger, so I should be just in worries. My best friend phoned me up just now because he's calling all his ginger mates to make sure they're okay. But no, it's all good for me.
That's it. You know how to stay cool in this, and I hope everybody out there is managing to stay cool. We've got a really cool episode of the Brit Wres Round Up for you with loads of fantastic news, a few special previews, of course, a couple of reviews stripped in. I think we should just get cracking on with it. Kicking off is slightly bad. I'll let you take it, Dan.
Yeah, we are going to kick off with some sad news. Warren Banks, rebuild Warren Banks. He is going to need rebuilding because unfortunately he has got an injury and it is a biggie. He has torn his rotator cuff. He has been fighting through it for the last couple of months, but he has realised that he's going to need to take some serious time off to get this repaired. So we are going to be losing Warren Banks from the wrestling part of the Brit Wres scene. I'm sure he will still be around doing bits and pieces, but from the wrestling side, he's not going to be able to wrestle for approximately 9 months. That's a normal time for a rotator cuff injury to heal, but hopefully he'll be up and back sooner than that.
Yeah, it'd be great. Maybe you can do some guest commentating throughout, so promoters book him as a commentator. I'm sure he's got some fantastic insights he can provide for so many great promotions out there. But
he can commentate, he can enforce, he can go to the ring with his boys. He can still be a big part of Brit Wres.
Indeed. And if you're out there, you are fans of his, go on to his merch right now. Go support him, buy his merch. I got the Ready or Not Warren Banks, the Kaiju shirt. You've got the Rebuild and Remake t-shirt. I think I should pick that one up as well and support Warren Banks and all your other favorite Brit Wres wrestlers out there. Get their merch. And also, Brit wrestlers, send me merch. I'm joking.
We have got some Japanese news, and you are a resident Japanese wrestling expert. So, would you like to tell me all about New Japan's G1?
Yes, well, both Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay have got off to winning ways in this year's G1 Climax. Will Ospreay picked up his win over El Phantasmo in a very good match, very modern day match, highly athletic, few flips and dives, but Will Ospreay just being the bigger guy. El Phantasmo has only just stepped up into the heavyweight. He's been a junior for quite some time. Obviously, he had that very long stint in the UK wrestling. I remember him as part of Defiant Wrestling. Great, phenomenal wrestler. But yeah, very good match. Zack Sabre Jr. picked up his win over Kenta, which was just
a big win.
Yes, it was a huge win to be honest. Yeah, and it was a fantastic wrestling match. It was fantastic. It was bloody good. It was go out of your way to watch a Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kenta in this year's G1 Climax. I'm pretty sure the first 2 shows are actually available on New Japan World for free, so you don't have to sign up to them. They're like teaser. If you watch these, come and watch the rest of the G1 by signing up, which I think is a fantastic idea. I'm not sure if they just did it with day 1, but they might have done it with day 2 as well. And unfortunately, Sabre Jr. is on day 2, So fingers crossed it is up there available for free, because it was brilliant. I mean, Kenta just batters Zack Sabre Jr., lighting him up with strikes, kicks, because Kenta, that's where he had the advantage in this match, because Zack Sabre Jr. would ground it, turn it into a mat wrestling game, go after the limbs, and it was Kenta had the match won. He had it won. He could have won this match, but he chose not to on 2 different occasions. And when he went to go for one last punch, he got trapped in an armbar and had to tap out. It was so good. Go watch that.
Now, of course, the G1 is split into blocks. So who's Zack Sabre Jr. got in his block? So
Zack Sabre Jr. is actually, this year there are 4 blocks. Usually there's only 2 blocks to the G1, but this year is the biggest G1 ever, and they split the competitors into 4 blocks. Zack Sabre Jr. is part of C block, along with, of course, Kenta. You also have Aaron Hanare, member of the United Empire, recently been at RevPro UK. Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace of New Japan, of course. Hiroki Goto and Evil make up the final 2 members of that group. Hanare also picked up a win in his first match, so the 2 of them both on 2 points at the top of the group. Aaron Hanare actually picked up his win over Hiroshi Tanahashi. Huge win for Aaron Hanare. Huge.
Wow.
Win. Yeah, I did not see that coming. Will Ospreay, on the other hand, is in D block. And he is in there with the aforementioned El Phantasmo, as well as David Finlay, Shingo Takagi, Juice Robinson, and Yujiro Takahashi. Takagi is up there with Ospreay after picking his first win up. He beat Juice Robinson. Obviously going to be very interesting when Juice Robinson and Will Ospreay collide, because Will Ospreay is, according to New Japan, the United States champion. However, Juice Robinson is still in possession of the belt. So that's going to be an interesting story in that block for when those 2 finally come meet face to face, as will the fact that Juice Robinson will have to go up against his former tag team partner in David Finlay, in Finn Juice. And of course, Juice Robinson is now, after faking that he was going to leave the wrestling industry, is now joined the Bullet Club and went all heel and is now rock hard Juice Robinson. But of course, he did not pick up a win in his first match. In other Japanese news, Jack Morris, ICW's Jack Morris, member of the 9-9, along with Dickie Divers. This, for me, kind of come out of nowhere. He's been announced for Pro Wrestling's Noah's N1 Victory, which is basically their version of the G1 Climax. And yeah, I'm really surprised that, not doubting, because Jack Morris, we've said it for a long time, has all the tools, and I mean all the tools, to be an absolute superstar in this industry.
For our last 76 episodes, I think we've been saying that Jack Morris is absolutely stunning. And the Japanese do love a big, muscular, fast wrestler, and that's exactly what Jack Morris is. He's got the technique, he's got the speed, and by God, he's got the build.
Yeah, he's got fantastic drop kick, because he is not like some of these big guys that have got small legs. He's just all over muscle. He's so he's got that gorgeous hair, gonna say it. And he's not a bad looking lad. Honestly, he kind of reminds me of a Robert Roode.
All right.
Because he's got all that, so it'd be nice to see get that charisma out there. But
you should say that.
Oh, look at that! He is glorious, as is your beard.
Oh yes.
So he's actually been drawn in B block. Now I don't watch as much Noah as I do Pro Wrestling New Japan, so I may absolutely butcher some of these pronunciations, because, as I say, I don't watch them as regularly. They don't have English commentators as regularly, so trying to catch how you pronounce them in English can be difficult. But here we go. He has been so the M1 Victory that kicks off in on the 11th of August, and he's been drawn into B block, which contains Sugiura Takashi, Kojima Satoshi, Funaki Masakazu, Timothy Thatcher, I know that one, Nakajima Katasuki, Nakajima Katashukio, Masa Kitayama, and Kiyomiya Kaito. Now, let me just say, I know a couple of these guys. Nakajima is an absolute badass. I love Nakajima. He is so good, so violent. He's got vicious kicks. Kiyomiya Kaito, Kaito, I believe it's actually pronounced Kaito. He is an absolute star in the making. He's going to be the Japanese superstar in approximately 3 to 5 years, maybe. He's going to be the top dog of pro wrestling now in New Japan, depending wherever he wants to go. He has got all the tools, very similar to a Jack Morris, absolutely all the tools to do this. Kojima, of course, very veteran wrestler, as is Sugiura. Again, big experience with these guys. Masa Kitayama is a Hulk. He's a Japanese Hulk looking dude. He's a big lad is what I'm trying to say. And of course, everybody knows Timothy Thatcher. He is a brawling, hard weight technical master and one of my favorite wrestlers. I'm going to be honest, I don't expect Jack Morris to do very well.
I think he might surprise you.
He might. I think there will be a couple of matches. I hope he'll come out on top. But as for qualifying, I don't see it. It'll be Kaito or Nakajima. Kojima will be probably behind them. Timothy Thatcher maybe behind that. And that's where Jack Morris maybe can come in ahead of Masa Kitayama and Funaki Masakatsu. But it's going to be difficult for him to pick up points, but I really look forward to following it, as I will be doing with Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay. I will be following Jack Morris's progress throughout the Pro Wrestling Noah's M1 Victory. As I say, it kicks off on the 11th of August, and he is straight up against it against Kiyomiya Kaito, who, as I say, is a future star. He's already looked at as one of the high mid-card guys over there, so but should be great. And it's all going to be available on Wrestle Universe as well, and in English commentary for the first time, which will be done by Mark Pickering and available on the Wrestle Universe app. I'm really looking forward to it. And as I say, I hope Jack Morris does well. He's going to have banging matches, and that's going to be the most important thing for him to do out there. It doesn't matter how many victories he picks up out there, is putting on great matches after great match and going back afterwards. So that's what I think we're going to definitely see from young Jack Morris. Do you want to tell us what's happening in Progress?
Yes, I will, because one of our favourites is going back to Progress. Maggot. Maggot has been announced for codename Cottonmouth on the 14th of August in Newcastle as part of the Deadly Viper Tour. Also announced, Dean Allmark is going to be facing Konosuke Takeshita. Woo.
Yeah, gonna be great. Gonna be that is gonna be an awesome match.
Sorry, go on.
Because Takeshita is facing Robbie X the night before, and there should be a great match against Dean Allmark. And of course, I will be there on the 14th of August in Newcastle for this show. And as I say, I expect it to be a big one. I'm so happy that Maggot's going to be there. You know how much of a Maggot fan I have become watching WXW Germany and his progress so far. You know, there for that Super Strong Cell 16. He's coming back 24/7. Now going to be part of the Deadly Viper Tour. Good we see him become a big member of the Progress roster going forward. And I would absolutely love that.
I was going to say, I can imagine he could well become that, and I would love to see him against Callum Newman one-on-one. I think that would be absolutely fantastic match.
Well, Callum Newman have a great match with anybody.
Yeah, but I just think they've got similar build. Similar style. I really would love to see Maggot Callum Newman.
Should be an interesting match. ICW, when they head to Newcastle, Martin Kirby has been announced for the ICW return to Newcastle, which is on the 22nd of October. And I'm a fan of Martin Kirby as well. It's going to be in Newcastle. It's very likely that I will go to the ICW show, although I have confirmed my Germany trip now.
You have?
I have. I am
going to
be there, all 6 shows, doing some media for Body Slam and for us. It's gonna be a great weekend. I'm really looking forward to it. My amazing wife is coming with me, so just gonna be an awesome little trip. So
sweet.
There we go. But yeah, Martin Kirby, Newcastle, ICW. Can you go wrong?
No, you can't. Had the joy of meeting him once. Really lovely guy.
Absolutely lovely guy. TNT Extreme Wrestling, and they've announced Flawless Victory, of course, on the 24th of August. There will be 8 heavyweight competitors who will compete in a knockout tournament for a shot at TNT Extreme Championship the following night at Summer Explosion. Ropes are out, pinfalls are out. The only way to survive in this chain-wrapped arena is by KO or submission. What are you making of this tournament then?
I think this is going to be a brilliant tournament, and I think that I'm excited to see a chain tournament in the UK, and I think it will be hard-hitting, lots of bruises. I can imagine people's backs are going to be absolutely ruined, and I think there's going to be some really good wrestling.
It kind of harking back to the days of the old coal pit mine fights, where they would literally map out an arena with a few spikes and wrap a chain around it, and then they would fight to because there wasn't much entertainment back then, so they needed to just beat the crap out of each other. So I really like this idea. As I say, it's not actually a chains for rope. It's just going to be, as far as I can tell, as I say, as I just mentioned, a few things and just in a wrapped arena. Very harking back to the very early wrestling and boxing. And as I say, catch wrestling. This is where catch wrestling started. And I think it's a fantastic tournament to bring back. And I'm really looking forward to it. They've announced two competitors so far, and that is WXW's Unified World Champion right now, Tristan Archer, who's been on an absolute tear. He has done some fantastic work in WXW Germany. Great matches with Axel Tisca, with Jonathan Gresham, with Jörn Simmons, with Ravanio. He's just been he's almost becoming the European bout machine right now, just putting on so many great matches. So I'm really hot to see Tristan Archer back in the UK, because it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had Tristan in the UK. So I can't remember what it's Liberté, Décapité, and I just think he's a phenomenal competitor. So Brendan White, of course, is that big Welsh beast, bear-like man
He's got a wicked new T-shirt out. Have you seen it?
Oh,
it's Vecna.
Yes, I have seen that one.
It looks brilliant.
Yes.
Get
Brendan
online.
White.
Yep. Get online, look up Brendan White's merch, grab the Vecna T-shirt, and of course you'll be able to see him looking like Vecna if he spends too much time around those chains.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great tournament. I'm really looking forward to it, and be very, very interesting who else is announced.
Well, they're announcing lots of interesting people at the moment. 2 of my favourites have just been announced to face off against each other at Summer Explosion.
Yeah, Visage and Shamanay will face off against each other at Summer Explosion, with the winner facing Effie at TNT's versus GCW in September. I can see why they want to do it. Visage called it Effie out quite some time ago, and it looked like they were going to get the match up, but Shaman has coming out of nowhere. They have demanded the matchup. So the only way to settle it is in the ring.
I love Visage. The kicks that they do are just stunning. Absolutely beautiful kicks and strikes. And I would love... Chamonix, you're brilliant. You're fantastic. You're entertaining. Love you to pieces. I want Visage.
Yeah, Shay's a bit more of the future right now. I think Visage is the more of the right now. And if you're going to have that match with Effie, I think for me it has to be, I think I do agree. I think it's going to be Visage. Shaman, they are fantastic.
I never said that's what I thought would happen.
They've been incredible on ICW. But yeah, for me, Visage is now. Shay is going to be the future.
What I think is going to happen is a three-way, but we shall see.
Could be.
But other names have been announced, other great names, fantastic names, amazing names, and thoroughly entertaining names. I'm very high on the entertainment. Mad Kurt and Charles Crowley have both been announced for TNT's Extreme Reign of Fire when TNT Extreme head to Wales on the 4th of September.
Yeah, good names to have on your card.
Yeah.
As you say, the entertainment factor's right up there with these two guys. They are absolutely fantastic, phenomenal performers as well. I think a lot of people get distracted by all their theatrics between the both of them and forget actually how good they actually are in the ring.
I think that is true, and I would actually like to see them against each other because that's not a match that I have seen yet.
I think F&W might have done the match, but I might be wrong. But yeah, should be a good match, as you say, if they decide to go that route. Whoever they face, it'll be entertaining. Don't forget, Mad Kurt's still got issues with Lizzie Evo, Eliza Alexander.
Mad Kurt's got issues with 90% of Brit Wres.
That's true, and 50% of American wrestling. I'll let you do the next couple because I just realised I need to plug my laptop in, which I didn't do.
Last week, we announced that Blake Christian was set to be part of TNT Extreme's Supreme Extreme, and it has now been announced that Blake Christian will be facing Dean Allmark. So we're going to have a proper technical match there. Also announced Allie Catch, who's been announced to be facing Session Moth Martina at Supreme Extreme, will be part of the GCW Liverpool on the 16th of September, as will Blake Christian and Cole Radrick. So we've got a load of great names being announced for the GCW Liverpool on the 16th of September. Our next news is from One Pro Wrestling. In what could be a match of the night, well, possibly even match of the year, let alone match of the night, we're going to have Ace Austin versus Robbie X at 1PW's A New Twist of Fate. That is going to be phenomenal. Robbie X is probably the best British cruiserweight available at the moment. You'd have to argue between him and Michael Oku, and him taking on Ace Austin will just be world class, absolutely world class.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Robbie X front here. I think he is right now the best junior cruiserweight in the UK. He's probably the best unsigned junior cruiserweight anywhere in the world right now. He has been putting on sensational matches up and down the board, and this is a great match that 1PW have put together. We missed it last week. They mentioned Alexander Hammerstone against Nathan Cruz. That's going to be a phenomenal match. I don't know how I missed that last week. You look at the 1PW lineup so far, Mark Haskins versus RVD. Well, that could main event. Session Moth Martina versus Ruby Soho. Well, that could main event. Christopher Daniels versus Cara Noir. Well, that could main event. Alexander Hammerstone versus Nathan Cruz. Well, that could be a main event. Robbie X versus Ace Austin. Well, that could be a main event. You know, you got 5 main event matchups. You know, these honestly could be main events anywhere in the UK, anywhere around the world right now. They are 5 matches that could probably hold up a main event any show. So what, you know, I criticized 1PW at first. I doubted their ability to make the return. But, you know, they've put some fantastic matches together here. Great talent. It'll just be interesting to see how many of the UK guys win.
We shall see. Also announced for 1PW is the Fan Slam, where the main event for that, I think, will be Nick Aldis. He is going to be there, meeting and greeting and signing and pressing the flesh.
Yeah, alongside, of course, like Face Austin, Alexander Hammerstone, RVD. I think the Haskins are going to be there. But yes, Nick Aldis will also be part of meet and greets at the pre-show. Again, another fantastic idea to have. Great way to draw in fans. So she looks good.
Yeah. Another thing that looks good.
Wrestle Carnival. Yeah, because obviously, as you remember, our man, Mr. Stephen Soudan, the tribal chief of the Big Fat Geeks, was, of course, at Wrestle Carnival's Ringmasters at the HMV Empire just 2 weeks ago. And following some of the outcome of that show, we now have it confirmed that Man Like the Reese will challenge Charles Crowley for the Carnival Championship at Wrestle Carnival on the 7th of August. Plus, we will get the Jetta versus Alex Winder to once again reunify the women's championship belt. There's a little extra caveat to that, though, is Charlie Morgan is going to be playing Enforcer.
Ooh.
I wonder if there's going to be any favoritism.
I call shenanigans.
I call shenanigans too. But we will see. We will see. Also announced the anniversary show, Emerson Jane versus Lizzie Evo. Well, the winner will become the new #1 contender to the Queen of Carnival Championship. I saw this match back with TNT Extreme when they returned. I think maybe they're couple of shows into their return. Phenomenal. I loved it. One of the best matches I saw that year. Lizzie Evo versus Emerson Jane should be absolutely fantastic. Of course, Mr. Stephen Saddle was very complimentary of Emerson Jane and Chris Ridgeway's match for the Pure Championship at Ringmasters. Of course, all that action that I just mentioned will be on the 7th of August back in Nottingham at the Portland Centre. Show I do plan to be at.
Wrestle Carnival have also announced that Chris Ridgeway, being crowned the inaugural Pure Champion, he will defend that championship in any promotion at any time. This is good. This is what Wrestle Carnival have been doing since their first match. They have always been involved with other companies. They will always make their champions available. They are a fantastic company doing exactly what should be done in British wrestling.
Yeah, it works in 2 ways. One, it can help add a little bit more intrigue to another card, but it also helps to promote the Wrestle Carnival promotion all at the same time. Is what promotions, as you say, they should be doing. I know isn't the Pro Wrestling Chaos Championship going to be at one of the shows coming up soon at Wrestle Carnival? So they have a debate. You know, they've had Catch Wrestling defended at Wrestle Carnival before, and a few other championships that they have defended. So yeah, as you say, Brit Wres work together, work alongside each other, and things can only get better.
Yeah. The Carnival is returning to the HMV Empire for Charles Crowley's Funhouse on the 10th of September. Now, this show was originally set to be in London, but due to unforeseen circumstances, has had to move to Coventry. I don't think this is going to be a negative. I think this is going to be a positive, especially with the amazing feedback that we got from Stephen on how great the Empire was.
Yeah, if you can no longer attend the show, you do just need to email Gary. Obviously, he works very hard and does things, and he is organising refunds if you are no longer able to attend the show, which, of course, brilliant. You can also, I think, transfer your tickets to a future show if that's what you'd rather do. That's, I think, yeah, as you say, I can't see anything wrong with it. I think they've done very well, and as you say, I saw the photos and Sal was very complimentary to HMV Empire. Yeah, it was just I think it is a better venue.
Oh. Recently announced for this is boisterous behaviour. Leon Slater and Manlak Darius are going to face the team of Mark Haskins and Robbie X.
Oof.
That's a nice team, that Haskins and Robbie X.
Oof, indeed. Yes, it's a great team. In fact, Haskins and Robbie X. I think it's going to be quite a spectacular match.
It is indeed. The HMV Empire will also be playing host to Wrestle Carnival's Carnival of Champions 2, set for January the 29th, 2023.
Indeed, so it should be a good show. As I say, it looks like Wrestle Carnival do plan to make the HMV Empire a second home, maybe even a first home. We will see.
Yeah. Charles Crowley.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of the Charles Crowley and Wrestle Carnival's champion, the champion of the Carnival champion, Charles Crowley.
Carnival twat.
Yes. The twat is going international. The twat is heading to Smash Wrestling in Canada. I don't know if you've seen that much of Smash Wrestling. They've done stuff with WXW in Germany over here, and they've also done stuff with Progress before. They will do this Smash Wrestling versus Progress show on the Progress On Demand service, and they have a guy called Psycho Mike. He likes to body slam people, lots. Occasionally, he's a zombie, apparently, as well. Just occasionally. Tends to flare up in June and October, he said. I'm not quite sure why. There's a lot of lore. You need a brochure. He's very, very entertaining, very great with comedic timing. I really want to see Charles Crowley versus Psycho Mike. Well, although Charles Crowley has said he won't do it if he's still a zombie.
It would be very interesting to see this because Charles Crowley has released a video ahead of his trip to Canada to let the Canadians know what it's going to be like, where it does appear in pure kayfabe terms, Charles Crowley's killed a man.
It's crazy. Charles Crowley is crazy, man.
Do go on to Charles Crowley's social media and have a little watch of that video.
Indeed.
Wrestlefest UK!
Yeah, somebody else is cashing in on all that wrestling coming to Cardiff September 3rd and 4th, of course, with the WWE first ever premium live event in the UK since God knows when. And of course, Progress are going to be there, ICW are going to be there, TNT Extreme Wrestling are going to be there. So somebody has created Wrestlefest, which is set to be the ultimate wrestling fan experience, launching this September, the 3rd of September to be exact. And just recently announced for me, again, the headline act, actually possibly not quite the headline act, because when I tell you about the guests.
He's a headline in our hearts.
Yes. But is he? Because I'll tell you, Nick Aldis will be part of this Wrestlefest UK meet and greet signing. See, you've read it, and you know what I said. He's not the main event. Okay, we're gonna get there. Of course, he is the former NWA heavyweight champion. His wife, Mickie James, will be there, as will the Mountie, Ray Rougeau, Wonder Kid, Johnny Storm, Tito Santana, Lindsay Dorado, SoCal Val, and the main event when it comes to Welsh wrestling.
It is the
headline when it comes to Welsh wrestling. It is the exotic one, Adrian Street, along with Miss Linda. Wow, that's quite a lineup. I think obviously as soon as that's brilliant. God, I mean, I'm sure people, I don't think we need to tell people who Adrian Street is. We shouldn't have to, should we?
We shouldn't. And if you don't know, please go on to Channel 4. Channel 4 have got the Adrian Street documentary on there on demand, as well as it being on the WWE network.
There's also one on Prime Wrestling.
There you
Prime,
go.
Prime, Amazon Prime. So yeah, plenty of places to go find an Adrian Street. Just type in Adrian Street into bloody YouTube and Google. He revolutionized glam wrestling.
Legend, absolute legend. The photo of him at the pits is just the best thing ever.
Yeah, coal miner's son, and there he is, flamboyant in all his wonderful ways, and a guy who was trained in traditional catch wrestling. He's quite outspoken about quite a few different things. If you go check out some of the interviews he's done, like cutting down the heart tangent. And things like this, and talking about the death of British wrestling due to Big Daddy and so forth. Yeah, he has a big grudge on a few people but he's just a phenomenal and an incredible speaker. So hopefully we'll get some sort of. I'm just going to be amazing.
Well done, Wrestlefest UK. This is looking like an absolutely great lineup.
Indeed. NXT UK.
NXT UK, we started off with Oliver Carter versus Teoman, with his henchman at ringside, the familiar. Carter was brilliant. The height he gets on his jumps when he goes either off the apron or off the ropes is just, he can fly, can't he?
The Swiss Ghanaian is a phenomenal athlete, and this was a great match. I really, really can't. Just a great match.
Yeah, and I was really surprised because Oliver Carter hit a running, spinning heel kick in the corner for the win.
Yeah.
Not expecting that at all. Was expecting the beatdown that came afterwards.
Yes, very much so.
Was expecting somebody to come out and save him.
No.
Not a bunch of referees. He's meant to be popular face, so I was surprised by that. After the beatdown, like I say, the referees came out, and Teoman just absolutely nailed him. Great match. Sam Gradwell was then being interviewed, managed to get one sentence out before he was jumped by Trent Seven. Now, I actually quite like this. If you're going to jump somebody, jump them straight away. Don't let them keep talking. So, yep, liked that. Some American was interrupted by Isla Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
Fallon Henry. Josh Morrell was then backstage celebrating his win. Dave Mastiff came up and said, well done, but next week you're going to have to beat me. And that's not going to happen.
I think it is.
I hope it is.
I hope it is.
You and I have been going on about Turbo Josh Terry for a while. Go for it. Wolfgang was an interview. Did you see what he was wearing?
I did not. What was he wearing?
He was wearing a She-Wolves t-shirt.
Oh, good on him.
Yeah.
I do. Is he married to Molly Spine? Look, we shouldn't be talking about things like that anyway. It's not our business.
No, but great to see him wearing a She-Wolves t-shirt, because the She-Wolves t-shirts are cool. Check out their merch. Yeah. He is going to be taking on Ilya Dragunov.
Should be a good match. Yeah. 2 weeks time, is it? Or is it next week?
Soon. Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Stevie Turner then took on Amel. Blair Davenport was on commentary. Amel hit the Hope Breaker for the win. Match was good. Stevie Turner needs to be given more to do. She is really good. She needs to be allowed to show this. Amel, as I keep saying, should be on the main roster by now. She is phenomenal. And Blair Davenport shouldn't be on commentary.
I didn't think Blair was that bad on commentary, but I think Stevie Turner should maybe. I think we need a female faction.
Yeah,
I think we do, and I think Stevie Turner would make a great second or even a third within a faction.
Yeah,
someone like Blair Davenport, if she went and that way about it.
Davenport just needs to be kicking everybody.
Yeah,
because I love Davenport as a wrestler. I just didn't rate her as the commentary side, no. But that's not important. She can kick all the ass.
Exactly.
Noam Dar will not be allowed Charles Samuels at ringside. Maiko Satomura will be facing Soraya very soon.
Poor Millie seemed a bit upset about this.
Well, she was busy carrying the bags, wasn't she?
Poor girl.
Yeah. Andrews and Bohr were sat down and said that Griggs and Jensen, who are the current NXT champions, need to come back, hurry up, and take on Andrews and Bohr.
No, Brooks and Jensen's just need to drop the titles to Pretty Deadly.
I agree with you. Coffee versus Dar Heritage Cup match, round 1. They wrestled. Round 2, Mark Coffey made Noam Dar tap with the gator lock. Round 3, they wrestled some more. Round 4, Coffey taps to the champagne super knee bar and Dar holds on for a very long time afterwards. Round 5, they wrestle some more. Round 6, Dar goes for the pin with the legs on the ropes. Mark locks in the gator lock, but Dar escapes. Nova roller on the outside. They go back in the 9 3/4. I don't think I've ever seen a 9 3/4 count go so close. Mark kicks out of a second Nova roller and hits a slam and a running elbow for the 1, 2, 3. We have a new Heritage Cup champion. Now, the way I was describing that, when the championship started, the Hogwarts Cup, it was very much like the round system. The first round would be a submissions and the second round would be a strikes. This was just straight up wrestling, which I was absolutely fine with. I enjoyed it. Charles exits the locker room knowing that he now owes lots of people lots of money. They all go out chasing him. And Joe Coffey climbs into the ring to celebrate with Mark. We all expect him to punch Mark out, but he doesn't. The Gallus boys celebrate together.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed by that. I was kind of like, okay. One, I'm disappointed they took the title off Dar. Although Dar's heritage run was not as good as A-Kids or Tyler Bates's.
Axioms.
Yeah, their matches were just much better. Don't know why just asking it. Didn't see that. But I don't know if Coffey is the right man either.
We shall see. It may not be a long run. He could be transitional.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes from it.
Overall, it was a good show. I would give it 3 sugars.
You know what? I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with this was a decent hour-long TV episode, and I'm going to give it 3 sugars as well.
Cool. Shall we do some picks of the week?
I will quickly do ICW Fight Club.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it is only 1 hour long. First of all, Stevie James, he questions Mark Haskins' tactics over last week and then Haskins challenges him to the 2 hour free falls match for Shook's house party, which was already being announced like 2 to 3 weeks ago via promo packages on ICW Fight Club. So and you should maybe work something there. Aurora Tevez making her debut later. Aaron Echo talks about his main event match coming up with Jack Jester. We then finally get a match, and it's Leighton Buzzard versus Andy Wild. And it's really, really good match. But BT Gunn distracts Leighton Buzzard, and Andy Wild picks up the win. These are 2 great competitors. They literally have a great match every time they're in the ring. Backstage, Jack Jester says he's not intimidated by Aaron Echo, and then Leighton Buzzard confronts BT Gunn and just attacks him. We get our second match of the show, which is Aurora Tevez making her debut against ICW Women's Champion Molly Spartan. Excellent match. Molly came off as completely dominant, but there was still sparks where you got to see just how freaking good the little dynamo Aurora Tevez actually is. So again, great match. 2 phenomenal young women just kicking ass. Session Moth Martina then comes on the big screen and says, "I'm returning to Shook's house party to take you on, Molly Spartan." We then have a little MMA skit with Thatcher Wright and Ian Skinner, and then Chris Bungard turned up and tries to, but it doesn't work out for him, and he gets hit with the book, which is actually a brick inside the book. So didn't work out for Chris Bungard. He needs to stick to MMA and not pro wrestling. You never know what's going to happen in pro wrestling. Andy Wild then tired of Coach Tripp's mind games as he came out to say, "Oh, Andy Wild, how good are you after your match?" Molly Spartan then tells Session Moth that, she should know her place, and she's going to put her in her place at their match at Shook's house party. Ravy Davey then talks about teaming with Grado to take on Thatcher's Cabinets, Charlie Weiss, and Ian Skinner. And then it was Aaron Echo, Jack Jester main event. This was okay, big man matching.
I've not enjoyed Aaron Echo since he's come back.
This is the first time I've actually kind of seen Aaron Echo. He's big. He's got some good size to him. I'm not sure about his look, as in his in-ring gear. Just get yourself some wrestling trunks. But you know, I was quite impressed. He's big and he's intimidating. If he can get himself together, I think there's certainly some potential in amongst the, especially with the ICW crowd, I think. So overall, I will say that this is a good hour-long TV episode of ICW Fight Club, and for that reason, I am going to give it 3 sugars. Sweet. Okay, top picks for next week. This coming Thursday is TNT Extreme's Project X in Liverpool. We'll be doing a special preview episode that you should go and check out.
Friday the 22nd, OTT Poetry Slam in Dublin. We have got Mark Haskins versus Amari, Pac versus LJ Cleary for the AEW All Atlantic Championships, the Velocities versus Aussie Open versus the Kings of the North, another international match there, which looks absolutely stunning. Jay versus Session Moth Martina versus Speedball Mike Bailey, and Charlie Sterling versus Robbie X, and probably more.
Should be a fantastic show. You've also got Black Country Championship Wrestling, their Project Empire, which is in Tipton. There is the BCCW Battle Royal, where the winner will get to face Reagan for the King of the Division title. Already confirmed for the Battle Royal is the man they call Wesker, MJ Grayson, the 21st Century Hero, Luke Douglas, RC Chaos, Carson Bailey, Lucas Cashmere, and Regan's tag team partner, Stephen Keane. Also in action, Keanu Fox Kelly versus Eddie Ryan, the British Lion. Animal matchup. 1-2-1 versus the Clarkwood Brothers. 3 in a tables match. Chantel Jordan, Alana Austin, LA Taylor, triple threat in their debuts. CJ Rawlins versus Lee Hunter in a Tipton street fight. Plus, Lucia Lee and Bevan versus Luke Basham and Luna Blue. Should be a great show.
Indeed. Saturday the 23rd, Rev Pro UK are going to have their Summer Sizzler. And again, we're going to do a special preview episode on this because it's big.
Yeah, go check that out when it is available. Other than that, you've got Phoenix Pro Wrestling with their fuck's sake, not another anniversary show. This is in Cork City. Session Moth Martina versus the Fabulous Nikki. Stages of Destiny versus One Night Stand. Steve Savage versus Justy versus Terry Thatcher. LJ Geary versus Scott Garland, aka Scotty Too Hotty.
Sunday the 24th, Progress 24/7 in London. It's so big, we're going to do a special preview episode.
Indeed, check that out once it becomes available. You can also check out Pro Wrestling Chaos, Organized Chaos in Bristol. Smoking Aces versus Destination Everywhere. Brendan White versus Elijah. Mulligan versus Harrison Bennett. Ava versus Harley Hudson. Danny Jones versus Yoda Suji. And this is a sold-out show.
Nice. Tidal Wrestling, once more with feeling. In Hull, Brady Phillips versus HT Drake, Ivy versus Harley Harris, Violence Party versus Reese and Rogan, Joe Wade versus Tom Thelwell, Joe Kessler versus Sean Only, Natalie Sykes versus Gia Adams, and Jet Marshall versus Lee Dawson versus Jack Bandicoot.
That should be an incredibly entertaining match. Go check. I definitely recommend that one in Hull. Tidal Wrestling. There are some great shows coming this Sunday. Definitely go check them out and available. And of course, go just check out any local promotion that might be in your area. You never know who you're going to see. You could be seeing the next big star in wrestling. With that said, let's move on to the further roundup.
Entertainment Wrestling Association, The Rebellion, will be facing The Beards at EWA's British Bash 2022 on the 17th of September.
And that is in High Wycombe.
It is at the Judo Club.
Discovery Wrestling. Someone has finally gone and done it. They've listened, they've heard, they've put together Chris Ridgeway and Ian Skinner in a 1-on-1 matchup. And I'm so looking forward to it. This is going to be at Discovery Wrestling's tagged on the 31st of July in Edinburgh.
Oh, man, that is going to be amazing. Go on, Ian.
Indeed.
Sacrifice Wrestling. AEW invited you to walk through the forbidden door. Now Sacrifice Pro Wrestling invite you to look through the naughty window on the 7th of August in Bedford. The square window,
the naughty window,
or the naughty window. So far announced: Warren Banks, possibly not wrestling; Kyle Kingsley, Kai Payne, Means, Tommy Kyle, Mia Cortez, Roy Johnson, Alexander Roth, and more will be in action. Sacrifice put on a great show. That will be in Bedford at the football club. Do try and go along.
Indeed. Jurassic Pro Wrestling's JPW. It will be the Hustle Malone and Tommy Kyle trilogy. And it concludes at Summer Stampede on the 14th of August in Harwich. The rivalry spans it all the way back to the inaugural show, all the way back in October of last year. These two have been main events. They've been through a tables match, and the score is 1-1. Who will come out on top in the end?
I don't know, but I do like Tommy Kyle rather a lot. He is a very, very nice person and has been on the show.
And apparently has a lovely arse.
According to?
According to him and his wife.
Oh, there you go.
They said so on Twitter.
I'll have to double check with my wife in a bit. Resurgence Wrestling, Chantal Jordan, Kid Like Us 2, and Evie Madden are the latest entrants for the Resurgence Rumble at Resurgence Rumble on the 6th of August. Also, Evie Madden today on Twitter's announced she's not very well, so much love going out to Evie Madden. Hope you get well soon. This is going to be, as I said, on the 6th of August. They will be joining Jim Diehard, Man Like DeReese, Clementine, Spike Trevay, Tate Mayfairs, Take This As Greatness, and Commander Stephanie Sterling.
Indeed, Gia Adams and Chocolate Thunder have also just recently been announced for this match. Chocolate Thunder going to be making his debut for Resurgence Wrestling. I know he is dead excited. And you know he's coming out as Resurgence champion.
I love a bit of Chocolate Thunder. Chucky Thunder, he's the man.
Riot Cabaret Wrestling. Riot return on the 23rd of August with their second show, Grand Slam. This will feature Danny Jones, Brendan White, Man Like DeReese, Chuck Mambo, TK Cooper, Danny Black, and Harley Hudson.
Nice lineup. Do you want to do Senshi Kingdoms? I know you're excited about them.
I'm very excited by Senshi Kingdom, and it'll be at their debut show. They'll be kicking off a 4-person round robin tournament, the winner being crowned the first ever Senshi Kingdom Grand Prix champion. Each competitor will compete in 3 matches in total in one night. Points are awarded for KO and submission. You'll get 10 points. Referee stoppage, you'll get 8 points. Count out, 7 points. DQ victory, 6 points. A time limit draw, you'll get 5 points. And out so far for the tournament is Kick-Ass Ian Skinner, the Pitbull, and Lewis Johnson.
Nice. DOA Wrestling. After the attack on Brad Slayer by Rex Wild and Sullivan King, following a championship fatal 4-way, it has now been made official that Slayer will get the opportunity for some payback as he goes one-on-one with Rex Wild at Peter Nixon's Beach Ball Mania 4 in Great Yarmouth on the 13th of August.
Indeed. So Pro have unveiled their World Championship belts this weekend, and it is a thing of a beauty. But there's also been, obviously, with the Warren Banks injury, he will no longer be in the main event of the show against Joseph Connors in what was going to be a championship qualifier. Due to scheduling conflicts, Myron Reed and Chris Ridgeway will no longer be in the other qualifier match, which was a triple threat that featured Malik. Now, one of those competitors was replaced with Warhorse, but now it's just going to be one fatal 4-way to crown the inaugural champion at the debut show. And it will be Joseph Connors, Warhorse, Malik, and yet to be confirmed competitor.
It's very exciting times. Soft Pro's belt, yeah, Shotty's just shown it off. It is really, really special. I think the UK's got the best belts in the world.
They really, really do. But I'm going to pick one little thing, just one little scratch itch. It shouldn't be considered a world championship belt unless it's being defended in 3 different countries. It should just be the soft pro heavyweight championship.
I think it's fine to be calling it a world championship because
just for my one little niggle, because I'm very pedantic about these type of things.
I think it's fine to call it a world championship because it is being defended against by international competitors.
We do, as you say, War Horse is going to be in the match.
Yeah.
So, as you say, you would need at least one more international competitor then for it to have 3 different nations in the ring.
Fair enough.
There you go. So it can't be an American. It has to be a Canadian or someone from Europe. You need at least 3 nations.
Maggot!
Maggot, yeah, get Maggot. So pro, do it. You want to. That would be phenomenal. In fact, I'm going to message you after this. Get Maggot. Purpose Wrestling. The Purpose Championship Tournament is finally coming to an end at Pro Wrestling's Everything I Love is Going to Die on the 12th of August. This short show will also mark Purpose 1-year anniversary. In the final will be Jordan Breaks and Connor Mills, a rivalry that has spanned that entire year.
Odyssey Pro Wrestling, a fatal 4-way tag team match has been added to OPW's Stormy Waters on the 6th of August. Synergy, Anderson Daniels and Troy Bryan will take on the Freak Show of Will Carter and Nightmare versus Nick Cutter and Lucas Neon versus Scum, Scotty Rourke and 2-Bit, a great team.
Yeah, I really like the team Scotty Rourke and 2-Bit. Scum, one is a great team name as well. The Grebo Grappler, the Rat King, 2 phenomenal talents. I really like this as a tag team. I'd like to see them do more tag teaming in the future. Okay, before we wrap this show up, I'm just going to do a quick roundup of everything that's been happening in WXW Germany. Starting off with a review of WXW versus APC Catch in Paris for Fight for Paris 2. I will get on to the matches right for you right now. In the first match, Kuru the Kid, Unbreakable Kuru the Kid, defeated Lavanio. Kuru the Kid is from APC Catch. Lavanio is one of the young guys coming up in Germany right now. Very impressive. Good outing from both of these competitors. Then, Aigil Blanc and Robert Dreisker, they fought to a count out. So it was a double count out. So they decided that both men will advance. So these are qualifying matches for a fatal 4-way main event to win the Fight for Paris Championship. As I say, but so both of them, Aigil Blanc and Robert Dreisker, went through. Up until then, it was a good match. I think this was a way of getting Aigil Blanc to the final, but not having him beat Robert Dreisker. So I think this is how they kind of went with this. They then had the WXW Unified World Championship match. It was Tristan Archer versus the APC Catch champion Christianium. He is from the Congo. He's from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Yes, and he's a very, very good athlete. Solid clotheslines. Saw some good thing in this match with Tristan Archer. Tristan Archer won the match by disqualification in a spot that even Eddie Guerrero would be proud of. As the referee turned his back, Christianium went for a kick. Archer caught the kick and then put it in between his legs as the referee turned back round, and it looked like Christianium had delivered a low blow.
Excellent.
That is a spot that even Eddie Guerrero would be proud of. That is lie, cheating, and stealing. Brilliant. I really enjoyed it. The fans absolutely hated it. It was just great. had to love it. But obviously, before this, the APC Catch manager GM came onto the big screen, and he told Cristiano that from now on, every time he steps foot in the ring, he'll defend the APC Catch Championship after this match. And that if Tristan Archer won the match, he would go into the fatal four-way main event, so he did. So he moves on. In another qualifying match, it was a Maggot versus Tiago Montero. Maggot came out on top. Really good match. Tiago Montero had, I think it was a girl called Sienna by him, who he honestly just berated the entire match and threw in the way of spears and jumps and whatnot. Real heelish, dickish tactics. So he's got a bit of personality to him. Maggot, of course, he had the APC Catch all clapping along as he came down. He's even captured the French hearts. It's great. Jörn Simmons then defeated Rick Salem. Rick Salem put in a really good fight, really good match. Rick Salem was a fantastic young talent. Jörn Simmons is incredible. Dutch destroyer. He's just so big and bloody strong. After the match, Tristan Archer came down and said, Rick Salem, do you want to rejoin Team Archer? Because apparently in APC Catch a few years ago, Archer kicked him out of Team Archer, but this time he was going to say, I welcome you back because you just went one-on-one and you gave Jörn Simmons a great match and he's a former champion, so I'm going to welcome, and then he beat him up. So there you go. There was Joseph French Jr. and Mecca versus A-Buck and R1. This is won by Joseph French Jr. and Mecca. Good match. Look, all four look like good competitors. And in non-title action, Baby Allison took on Calypso in a match that Calypso won. Calypso, very impressive young performer coming out of France. Then finally, it was the elimination main event, which was supposed to be a fatal four-way. But if you've been keeping count, it was actually a fatal six-way or a six-man scramble with elimination. In the end, Tristan Archer won. It came down to Tristan Archer and Guru the Kid. Out came Rick Salem. Was he going to attack Tristan Archer? No, he wasn't. He decided to attack Guru the Kid, and Tristan Archer won. Of course, it was pretty obvious that was going to happen. As soon as he came out, I'm just like, yeah, he's going to turn on Guru, isn't he? He's going to join forces with old Tristan Archer, and he did. It was a really good show. I'm going to give it a show. I'm not going to give it more than 3 sugars, but it was still a really good show. It is available on WXW now. Coming up this weekend, it is a dead end for WXW Germany. Alex Kane versus LSG, Liavani St. Giovanni. Alex Kane is an MLW star right now. LSG is a former ROH competitor. So good US independent talents coming in. You got the WXW Unified Championship match, Tristan Archer versus Jörn Simmons. 2 big boys. This should be fantastic. Gil Rock and Senza Volto will be taking on the team of Robert Dreisker and Lawrence Roman of Amboss or Anvil. Axel Tiska will be facing Cara Noir once again. And it will be the only friends, Michael Knight and
his friend
Bobby Guns versus Rotten Flot, Nikita Charisma, and Michael Schecklenberg. This is a very good card. Probably a couple more matches to be announced, hopefully. Hopefully they announce a women's match in that time. Also coming up is the Shortcut to the Top Rumble, which Senza Volto, Fast Time Mudo, Lavania, Robert Dreisker, and Maga have all been entered into. They'll be joining the likes of Axel Tiska, Cara Noir, Heisenberg, Nikita Charisma, Michael Schecklenberg, and this is on the 6th of August in Oberhausen, just after I've actually been there for the World Tag Team Festival. I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a great show. I'm really looking forward, of course, to the World Tag Team Festival. I'm going to be there live. I'm going to be at TNT Extremes Project X. I'm going to be at RevPro UK's Summer Sizzler. We've hopefully got a guy who's going to be at the 24/7 Progress show as well as the OTT show.
We also now have a guy who's going to be at Clash at the Castle.
Oh, are you going?
No, Daryl, who we had on the show many years back, who went to WrestleMania. is going along to the Clash at the Castle and is going to come on and have a chat with us about how that goes.
That is fantastic news. I'm really looking forward to that. With that said, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, just remember, don't feed the trolls.